Welcome to Booze and Glues, a justifiable excuse for two friends to spend time together, cross crafts off their to-do list, and, of course, drink. With glue guns and wine glasses at the ready, join Jessye Shepherd and Tabitha Davis as they attempt to simultaneously chat, craft, chug and charm. Will they consume alcohol? Definitely. Will they actually accomplish anything? Debatably. Will they bitch and complain? Inevitably. Will it be a bloody good time? Absolutely. And if things don't turn out just as planned, well, that's okay too. Because booze!
Hello!
Squeaky chair, hello, welcome.
Welcome to Booze and Glues. I'm Jessye.
I'm Tabitha.
I don't know if we have an intro yet, so I'm just...
She's pouring the wine. Okay, so this week we're drinking white wine, which I think is a first.
Might be a first.
I think it's a first. This bottle, which I'll tell you about in just a second after I quit pouring. So this wine was a gift from my cousin. Her husband works for Scheid Vineyards.
Oh.
He does really cool stuff with like irrigation and geography. Like he geomaps everything. He has a really weird degree, and I'm gonna sound like an ass. Yeah, basically, like he has a degree in GPS.
Cool.
Like he maps everything and there's everything's like topographical and then the exact location of everything. And so he like helps them to make like the most use out of their water and the energy and all this crazy stuff. And he runs like a full vineyard of theirs.
Wow.
So he always has yummy wines that he shares with us. And this isn't actually a Scheid wine. It's a different label, but which I guess wineries do that so that they can try new things.
Okay.
And then not be like...
No, but it doesn't tarnish their brand.
It doesn't reflect on them, right?
Okay.
So this is like not a Scheid label, but it is made with Scheid grapes.
Great.
So it's like made with his grapes. It's called Hidden Crush, and it has the cutest picture on the bottle.
Yeah, it's like gold and green.
There's a key and there's birds and trees, which are like all of my favorite things. You can see keys and birds and trees all in my tattoos that are visible right now.
This is Tab's wine.
I was like, this is the best. So it's a Chardonnay, Central Coast.
I love it.
We're gonna go for it. It looks really green.
It does kind of.
Has like
it's
a
like
green.
Very yellow.
Tinge. Okay. Moment of truth. Tastes like Chardonnay.
Tastes winey. And yes, very much like Chardonnay.
It is. It doesn't have that dry...
It's good.
Yeah, I like it. I usually am not like the hugest fan of Chardonnay because...
Probably it's one of the last on my list, but yeah. I still drink it because it's usually cheap.
Well, and if it's there, then I'm willing to drink it also.
Yeah, no, that's usually what I get out at restaurants and stuff because it's always, the cheapest glass. And I'm always like, am I going to pay 50 cents more for something else? Nah.
I feel like
this is Chardonnay. That's how cheap I am, people. Okay.
50 cents is your mark. Yeah. You're like, this is worth it.
No.
I feel like this has a little bit more sweetness to it than
it's pretty sweet.
The average Chardonnay. And because I was thinking almost it has like a kind of a Riesling type.
Yeah.
But it's
not bubbly.
It's not bubbly. So, should we read a little bit about it? Oh, the Hidden Crush has been a well-kept secret, known only amongst winemakers.
That's why it needs a key, guys.
When the dust of the yearly harvest finally settles... I can't with these wine bottles. They come up with like the craziest
I think that's my calling.
You should write wine bottle literature.
I can write the most cheesiest stuff you've ever heard. I've been writing, letters. Well, not like a whole bunch, but when we make an offer on a house, she's asked us to like write a letter to the sellers, to kind of make it more personal.
Oh, right.
And I can write a cheesy letter.
You're like, this is where my dreams are going to come true.
Yes.
This is the home where my family will be started.
Will blossom and grow. I don't say anything quite that cheesy, but I could make it cheesy.
Right. No.
I could write a wine label.
Me too. I feel like totally. Maybe this is our secret calling.
Oh my gosh,
Podcast canceled. Okay, so I am going to read the flavors, which is what I think we like about it. It says vibrant tropical flavors of citrus, pineapple, and mango.
I love it.
Yeah. So with a light touch of oak. And then wine always says things like this, which make me feel really uncomfortable. To create a Chardonnay with a round and lush mouthfeel.
Those mouthfeels, they get me every time.
The round mouthfeel and the lush mouthfeel.
I like it when my mouth feels round and lush.
It's so awkward. Okay. Yeah, so I like it.
Wine.
White wine.
Isn't
tonight.
it great?
Yeah. All the things you can do with grapes.
Cap it just in case our elbows get crazy making this craft.
I brought my fabulous brain wine plug.
Oh, nice.
I love that thing. It was, I think, out around Halloween.
Probably.
Which is why it has a brain on it. But
it's just a little white brain.
Yeah, it reminded me of zombies.
Love it.
And also, as I believe I've mentioned before, Halloween decorations are year-round decorations in my world.
She has a lot of them.
Yeah.
But they're tasteful. It's not like
you're walking
Halloween.
Right.
It's just
there's just a touch of death everywhere.
Yep. Well, that brain's not necessarily dead.
Well, they don't usually do well outside of skulls.
That's true. Unless they're in, like one of those creepy jars of like juice. Just kidding.
Still not usually alive.
That's true.
I mean, we could get onto like some Ninja Turtles stuff. Because like one of the villains is a brain.
Oh, that's right.
Krang. Anywho. Yeah, all the Scheid wines are like screw off the top.
I love it. I usually think
you
it's
love
like,
everything.
I do. I'm just happy with life today. Today's a great day.
I was just laughing because I was editing last night, and every time I would be like, "What about this?" You're like, "I love it." I'm like, "You're so positive. You're just like great." I'm always like, eh. Maybe not.
Lately at work, I felt like I'm a cheerleader all the time because we've been just working so hard, and something
been kind of rough.
Yeah, it's been really rough. And something will happen, like we'll get somewhere, and I'm like, "We're doing great. This is awesome. We just got another thing done." And my boss is like, "Would you shut the hell up?" And I'm like,
"You're like, go team, go."
I'm like, "Oh, we need this. We need some happiness."
You do, because honestly, if you were being like negative Nelly, Nancy,
Trish
whoever,
and my boss and I, we're very negative. Actually, like 90% of the time. So it's a miracle we've kept the agency open this long. But that's why I'm trying my hardest to be encouraging.
Right.
And find celebration in the little moments.
Yes. No, I agree. I think that a lot of the time I'm kind of like, meh. But then when push comes to shove and everyone else is like down, I'm like, okay, we can do this.
Yes.
We're great. Yeah. So our craft project tonight is I have this terribly Walmart mirror. I mean, it's just this plastic white frame, like full-length mirror that has hung on like the back of my bathroom door, and then I moved, and I always try to place it somewhere kind of like nondescript because it's ugly. It's super ugly.
And instead of going out and buying another $5-10 mirror.
Right, because I don't actually need one. That's part of what's wrong with our society.
That's a good philosophy to have. You have a mirror, and it works.
It works just fine.
It reflects your image and lets you see what you look like in the morning.
That's right. Now, what I do need is one of those like clown mirrors that makes you tall and skinny. Not the short fat one.
I know.
I got that going.
I feel like every mirror I look at in my life is a little bit different. Like at home, I always walk out and I'm like, I look good today. Uh-huh. And then I get to work and I'm like, oh God. What
Partially
happened?
The lighting.
It could be a lot.
Because most workplaces have like fluorescent lighting.
Yeah.
So it casts this like ghastly green across everything.
That's true.
And you're like, I'm so pale.
Yeah.
That's what I always think.
I always look pale. I look pale at home.
Yeah, but with warm lighting, it's like acceptable pale. And there, it's like you might be dead pale.
That's true.
Yeah. So
we're going to put some hot glue on this bad boy. Make some designs.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
We're trying some things.
Came up with the idea because I made a Tinkerbell wand at Halloween.
Yeah.
With hot glue, and I was just amazed at the things hot glue can do.
It's great.
Also, I think it's good that we're finally busting out our glue guns because...
Yeah, we haven't used much glue.
I mean,
we're
here and there.
Glues without the glue.
I've glued some things, but...
It hasn't been a majority of our project.
There was a time where when we were looking at like logos and things, we were incorporating a glue gun.
We were going to put a glue gun.
Yeah, so it's good that we're busting out the glue guns.
And I feel like if we ever get like caricatures done...
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be...
Well, you can hold the glue gun and I'll hold the wine.
Love it.
We should get characters done.
That'd be great.
Except I'm always terrified at how long my chin and nose are in them.
Well, you can request to not have those features caricaturized.
Oh, like make me a cute cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
Don't accentuate.
It's not going to not be cute.
Like, let's not accentuate the...
Well, it's like Jay Leno. You know, his chin is always like a foot long. And I'm like, okay, the man's got a chin, but you don't have to make it like a foot long.
But that's what happens in caricatures is they're taking the main features and accentuating them.
So maybe let's just get like cartoons done of us.
Yeah, I think that's better. I think that would be super fun.
I think it'd be great. Fiverr.
I know. We got to get back on there.
Do it. Let's talk about my injuries. My family's injuries.
All right. This is the corner of the podcast where we talk about all the crap that's wrong with us. Go.
So, not old enough to have all these issues, but Blake...
I feel the same way.
I know.
What is happening to us?
Hello, I'm not this old. So, and I live like a pretty active lifestyle. It's not like one day I woke up and decided to be an like ultimate volleyball player and hurt myself.
Right.
Like I play a minimum of once a week. It's normally twice a week. But for some reason lately my shoulder has just been killing me, and my boss has had surgery for a frozen shoulder, so she's like freaking out and telling me all these crazy like stretches and stuff I have to do, but today it's hurting pretty bad. And then also last night, it was towards the end, luckily, Blake, my boyfriend, he dove for a ball a little bit. And he didn't even say anything right then. Everything was fine. And then like a minute later, he's like, I think maybe we should go home. You know, and I'm like, what are you talking about? We're not done. And he's like, no, are you ready to go home? I'm ready to go home. You know, and I'm like, what did you do? And he like showed me his finger, and it was like twice the size.
Oh no.
And it had only been like a couple minutes. And so I'm like, that does not look good. Let's go. And so I asked, because he has his own health insurance now, where we've been separated from our parents for almost a year now, and he hasn't gone and used it yet. So he was just talking like a couple weeks ago, I need to go and get sick and use my health insurance. And I'm
paying for this stuff. I need to start cashing in.
Hello. And I'm like, I think that's not something you wish for, you know, but...
Oh, he did it to himself.
I think so.
Oh.
But, so we
Blake.
were afraid it was broken, and he was like, I don't know if it's adrenaline, like I can't really feel it. It doesn't hurt very bad, but it's like huge.
That can also be nerve damage.
Right. So we're like, well, let's just play it safe and go to the doctor instead of like having it get worse.
Just guessing.
So we went. Luckily it wasn't broken, but he has like contusion like a popped blood vessel in there. So the whole thing is just fat and blue.
Ew.
Oh, it's nasty.
And he didn't cause any like damage to ligaments or anything like that. That's good.
So yeah. So it was definitely best case scenario, but it was a little scary.
So he basically bruised his finger.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's a bad bruise.
Oh, I believe it.
And it hurts, but
he
kind
can't.
of a baby.
All men are when they're sick.
Isn't it awful?
It's so ridiculous.
People have always told me that, and I kind of didn't believe it. But my dad's like that, I suppose. And yeah, like Blake has a cold, and it's like the whole world is ending.
Oh, yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not a great person when I'm sick.
No, I'm definitely a lot bitchier.
Yeah.
I have a short temper and a short fuse.
Mm-hmm.
But I
kind
still
of have that on normal anyways.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I'm like that also in the morning if you attempt to talk to me. So, hey.
I'm the worst.
Adam was telling everyone last week about how he has learned to just not talk to me in the morning.
I think Blake would say the same thing.
And I'm like... Yeah, and I'm like, I'm totally a morning person. When I'm ready to talk to you, I will. And from then on, I'm perky. But like, don't look at me, don't talk to me, don't touch me. Until
that moment that you invite people in.
Yes, because when I first wake up, I'm like, I'm processing my dreams. I'm, still kind of half asleep. I'm thinking about, what I dreamt about, what I'm doing that day, whatever. Like, I'm just in my own little bubble. I need a little time for my brain to like get right with the world.
Yeah.
And then like once I'm up and I'm good for the day.
Yeah.
But until then, I prefer that just nobody interact with me. And I tell him, like, I've told him for years and he's finally like okay with them. Like, it's nothing personal.
Yeah.
But pretend like I don't exist.
Yeah, mine's just kind of like when I wake up at all, because I love to nap. But when I wake up from a nap, like, back up.
Same way.
And my problem is, too, I have a hard time waking up, and Blake tries to help me wake up in the morning, and he, like, has given up because he'll be like, Jessye, you gotta wake up and get ready. And I'm like, no, fuck you, I'm not getting up. And he's like, okay, then I am not helping. Like, you can be late for work.
Adam, dear husband, is really good about just making me a cup of coffee and leaving it on the counter and walking away. He doesn't even try to give it to me. He just, like, makes it and leaves it sitting there.
That's awesome.
For the ghost in the house. And then I, like, go pick it up and, it's like, that's my, okay, I'm here now.
We're getting better. This is the start.
That's my signal. You may speak to me. I used to be such a morning person. I would roll out of bed and just be like, hi. And
nope.
I think just living alone for the short period of time that I did, I just like curled into myself in the mornings and I was like, this is amazing. I don't have to like talk to anyone or put on a show or anything because I'd always lived with someone until I got separated. And so I just was like, I was like reveling in it and I refused to go back to a world where I have to put on a smile the second I freaking wake up.
I just wish I could start a world where I can wake up in the morning and have time to like get ready for work and it's not like...
How do people get up 2 hours before they go somewhere and like make some breakfast, have some coffee, read a paper, blah, blah, blah. I would love
that. I really think some self-care in the morning would do me so much good, like at work and stuff. I would love to be able to wake up, drink some chai, like read a nice book about how great I am and how life is awesome. And
oh, you have that book, Jessye, You're Great?
I'm gonna write it.
Spelled with a Y and everything.
Write it. Like, everything is awesome. I need to bring you that movie back.
That was great.
That's what I need. I need to wake up like the Lego kid.
Oh, he is super perky.
Yeah. He's like, let's wake up.
And Jessye knows this now because I forced her.
I watched the Lego movie, guys, and it was great.
I like twisted her arm into it. I'm like, you have to watch it. Take it home.
It's great.
It is.
It's totally
super
great.
Funny. Now you guys got to go watch Lego Batman.
I know.
Because it was great.
We
yes.
totally want to.
Okay, so what else happened to all of your bodies?
That's mostly the injured we are.
Okay.
We did not injure ourselves. We did another sporting event this weekend. We were sporty this weekend. We went to Roseville, and they just put in a new, it's called Top Golf. Have you heard of this?
I remember you saying something about it. Do you golf on the top of buildings?
Well, it's like a big driving range. It's like a multiple story driving range. So you can be on the driving range on the bottom level or second level or third level. And then but one whole side of it's just open.
Wow.
And then inside the driving range, there's just these big like circles with nets, and your goal is to try to like hit it into these nets and you score points for doing so.
It's like golf and disc golf.
It's exactly like golf. I mean, not golf. It's exactly like bowling, is what I'm trying to say.
It's exactly like bowling?
Yes.
Ow.
So, like, you know bowling? You got a team of 4.
I do know bowling.
One person goes up, bowls. Next person goes up, bowls.
Mm-hmm.
You keep going. Same as Top Golf. Except for with Top Golf, you don't just do like one hit and then the next person. You can do 1 to like 20 hits, swings, attempts.
It's just golfing on a team? Is that the only thing that's like bowling? Because I'm so confused right now.
No, it's literally set up the same as bowling. You're just trying to get more points than the other person, but it's with golf. You hit a ball instead of roll a ball.
Are you in a lane?
No, but you're shooting just at this driving range with these big holes that you're trying to hit a ball in.
So there's no bowling balls, there's no pins, the scoring isn't the same.
It's golf, but set up like bowling.
Do you wear bowling shoes?
No.
So
I think you're thinking too much into how much like bowling it is.
Golfing on a team?
Well, it's not a team. You're by yourself.
Oh, you're golfing in a row?
Yeah.
Isn't that what you do when you normally golf?
No, because
like everyone takes a turn teeing off.
Well, I know, but you're going for one little hole at the end. And it's like a score thing. So if you get into this big hole, like the closer...
So is it like, it's not like bowling, it's like skee ball?
Yeah, kind of.
There we go.
Bowling and skee ball mixed, but you're golfing.
Okay.
We're going to post a link to Top Golf.
I'm going to have to, like, see this in action because my mind is totally...
You can fall off the edge, and there's a little net to catch you just in case.
Oh, I don't like that.
Kind of crazy. You really shouldn't be that close to the edge.
You shouldn't walk over there?
No.
That makes me nervous.
But there's a lot of really drunk people, and I heard people do fall.
Oh, God.
But yeah, we got there at...
What if the net fails? Is there a second safety net?
Not really.
I'm like so nervous now.
It was fun and kind of boring. And
it's
also,
making my hands sweat.
We got there at like 5:30, and there's this massive line that we were not prepared for. I thought it was going to be busy, but this was like a crazy line.
AM or PM?
PM.
Oh, thank God.
And they're like, oh, it's a 3.5 hour wait. And we're like, what?
That's crazy.
We just hung out with our friends and ate some dinner, and I'm
like still, there.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have like restaurants.
They have stuff.
And it's actually really great
Oh,
food.
cool.
Yeah, so we just hung out. 3.5 hours was still a really long time to wait, but it was all right because we were with friends.
That's nice. It's really easy to drink this cold, fruity wine.
I'm trying to keep it a little bit cool because I was doing so good losing weight, and then it just plateaued this February. I haven't gained any back, but I haven't lost any either.
Well, that's okay. I definitely haven't lost any, and I very well could have gained some.
Did you do anything super exciting this weekend?
I went rollerblading.
See, we were so sporty.
Super sporty. I went rollerblading like on the sidewalk because I thought I'm going to attempt to rollerblade and also rollerblade. I'm going to attempt to rollerblade and also take my dog for a walk.
That is intense.
It was
I feel
sketchy.
like Bochi can't go that fast.
Oh, no, he goes way faster than I can.
Really?
I mean, well, I could go faster, but I try not to get going that quickly because then he wants to stop real fast and smell this thing.
Are you super sore?
No.
Every time I rollerblade, I hurt bad the next day.
Yeah, I definitely, like, my hips and stuff
It's muscles
get,
you don't normally
like,
use.
achy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's just a little too spazzy, I think, for rollerblading. Like, normally, if I'm rollerblading, I feel totally comfortable and I'm fine. And I was out with him and I just thought, like, I'm going to die or break something.
Or run him over or pull him, drag him behind you.
Yeah, because he would just stop and, like, his, leash retracts. So, like, it could go for a while and then it would be like, okay, you're moving again. I felt kind of bad, but.
I feel like Torpedo would just drag me. So that might be scary. He'd be like, when I pull you, move, cool. We're going 100 miles an hour.
At one point, I just kind of stopped to see, like, because he's just running. I mean, even when you take him for a walk normally, he just runs and runs and runs. I have to put a harness on him. Otherwise, it's just, like, choking him because he just won't stop.
And so Bochi is Tabitha's dog.
And he's a chihuahua.
He's a little chihuahua. And he's so cute.
I mean, he's a mutt, but yeah, he's all of 8 pounds.
Yeah.
He pulled me on my rollerblades. 2 years
old, not even, right?
Well, yeah, so we've almost had him for a year. We're about a month short. And they estimated he was about a year old when we got him.
Oh, and he looks like a little old man, you guys.
He's a little stray. I feel so bad for him.
He's cute.
But yeah, he actually pulled me. I kind of just stopped to see, like, how fast.
How strong he was?
Yeah, can he go? And I just was, like, coasting, and he, like, was dragging me. I'm like, okay. Crazy little dog. So I did do that. We did a whole bunch of baking because we had a fundraising luncheon for Walk for Water.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a local charity fundraiser that does well drilling in Africa. And
it's really, this lady that runs this thing, she's great.
She's amazing.
So cool.
Did you know Shirley's in her 70s?
I did not. She does not look like she's like this active little, just like
she could
firecracker.
Kick my ass, I'm pretty sure.
She is cool.
I mean, she's way
so
too
cool.
sweet, too.
Yeah.
But, oh my gosh.
Super nice.
She's great.
How can you be that great? I just don't even understand it.
I know. She takes trips to Africa. She helps out on all this stuff. Last year, her and her grandson climbed some crazy mountain, and I can't remember which one it was, to raise money for...
Wow.
It's Bridging the Gap by Giving is the name of the, like, foundation. But they do the Walk for Water every year. I think this is the 10th year anniversary of it.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I have to miss it.
I heard.
I'm so sad.
But they do it rain or shine every year. Everyone does. There's like 2 different lengths of walks you can do. You can take your kids. Halfway through, you fill up your bucket and you carry it the rest of the way. And then it gets dumped back into the river.
Yeah, not waste the water.
We're not wasting.
It's just getting the idea of what it's like to carry water.
How heavy it is.
Super far. Like African women and children do.
Yeah. And
that's how they get their water to drink.
Yeah, to drink, bathe, anything.
Right.
And then they're, foregoing the chance for any kind of education or anything. Yeah. So,
because they have to drink water.
Yeah, I mean, just to survive. They are spending their entire days just getting water to survive.
Almost burnt my hand.
Oh, I thought maybe there was a spider. Jessye just like jumped real quick back.
All of a sudden, I just felt warmth on my hand.
Like I said, mine's kind of a warm glue gun. It's not really hot glue.
Ooh.
But yeah, so we had that. So I baked for that, and we raised like $1,300.
That's awesome.
Which is great.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So that was Sunday. I had to give my children's haircuts, which is like wrestling orangutans.
So more sports.
They also their hair's the same color as orangutans.
That is true.
I used to tease Remy. He had this little like animal book, and there was a picture of like a baby orangutan, which is like the cutest thing in the world. Yes. Just this fuzzy orange, and I used to tease him and say, "Remy, look, it's you and your baby." And he one day, and he had to have been about
that, Mom.
3 or 4. One day he looked at me with like his mom, come on face. And he was like,
over.
Mom, he's orange all over. I'm only orange on my head. I was like, okay.
It just cracks me up. They just have the reddest hair. It's so cute.
I know. It's beautiful. I cut so much hair off. They got short haircuts again, getting ready for warm weather. And it was this heap of hair that I'm like, I mean, it's so beautiful. I'm just like, people do pay money to have this color hair, you know? It's just so pretty.
It is.
And I'm so jealous.
It's cute.
Because I have hair the color of a rat.
Power to the gingers.
I love gingers.
They're great.
Actually, my hair isn't the color of a rat right now.
No.
You haven't seen this color yet?
I haven't.
It was hot pink a couple weeks ago. Then I did gray. What would you call this? The name of the color is wild orchid. Oh. Think of an orchid.
Okay.
It's that color.
Totally.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's fun. It'll change again. It'll wash out. I'll change it up. Next week it'll be something new.
Well, are we going to craft or what?
Yeah, we're going to craft. We're going to craft the shit out of this.
Craftiest bitches. I think this is our most explicit one yet. I said the F word.
I said ass. Okay. See what they did to this H.
So beautiful.
I'm thinking something along those lines. So just some kind of like leafy paisley pattern situation.
Okay.
Then we will paint it. I have like copper and gold and bronze and all kinds of different metallic shades we could choose from.
Love it.
So we can...
I gotta stop saying that.
Paint.
Now you have me like really think, I love it. I love it.
I love it all. I love everything. So we could paint the raised portions more than anything else. And then I'm thinking I'll paint the whole thing maybe black, like blackish or dark gray or something. And then like wipe it, you know, so you can see the under, you know, weathered kind of situation. What do you think?
I think it's a great idea.
It's a plan.
I love it.
She loves it. I don't like the way Pinterest app is.
Pinterest, fix your crap. It bugs me.
Fix your app, because every time you get out of it and you try to go back to where you were, boom, start all over. And even if you follow a link and like try to go to where you were, same thing. Boom, start all over. It's so frustrating.
It is.
I've gotten to the point where I just screenshot everything I'm doing. Like if I'm following a recipe, I'll just like screenshot
recipes,
all the way through, because otherwise you get lost along the way and then your stuff's boiling over and you're super stressed out. So I think earlier I was discussing how horrible this mirror was, and I didn't get to explaining that it's so old that the plastic is starting to turn yellowish. Like the white plastic is actually turning yellow, which is real disturbing.
It's seen better days.
Yeah, which is why it was hiding. Part of this is just a repair job because the whole bottom of this mirror broke off a while back, and I've had like the pieces sitting forever, and I've just never put them back on. So what else is going on in the world of Jessye?
Oh, man.
How goes your TB treatment situation?
The nurse won't call me back. I'm getting frustrated.
Oh, that's lame. Yeah. I started like looking it up online because I was curious about it. And so one of the options was going to the doctor themselves so they can treat you, right?
Yeah, it's like...
For like a shorter period of time.
Yeah, it's like 12 weeks.
Yeah, because I was at first thinking it was shorter than that, but yeah, it said like... And it's just because I think the medication that they're using is like pretty intense that they don't want people to just be taking it on their own volition.
Right, but it's like from what I can tell, it's 2 medicines at one time.
Right.
And it's going to be more expensive that way. Because the one that makes it so it's 12 weeks is like, I looked at my health insurance and it's on like the second tier of medication payments. So it's like $50 as opposed to like 15.
Right.
So I'm like, meh.
But when you like calculate it out, that $50 for 12 weeks compared to 15 for 9 months.
I know. I don't, and that's the other thing, because I'm like, how many times do I have to refill it? Because that changes the price. Are they going to give me like 1 month at a time? That's
probably.
But then are they going to give me 1 month at a time up for the 12?
Right.
So.
You need to talk to that nurse.
I know. She won't call.
That's lame.
And that seems to be my life lately, is like, people don't call me back.
I don't like flaky people.
I can't stand it.
That is like one of my hugest pet peeves. So last week I was telling you about how my car was doing crazy things.
Oh, yeah.
I went to get the battery changed and then all of a sudden it just wouldn't start afterwards and I had to have it towed. In fact, I just had it towed. And then, so I called, let's see, we took it to Mario on Monday, I guess. Monday. And then, so I called him. I didn't want to like bug him the next day, so I waited and I called him Wednesday morning. And same thing like before. He's like,
done it?
I already ordered a starter. And I'm like, whoa. I just wanted you to diagnose it for me. Like, I can change the flippin' starter myself if I need to. So he's like, well, I'll let you know. You know, I'll know in the next half hour what it is for sure or whatever. So I said, okay. So I didn't hear from him. I didn't want to like call and harass him though, because I know he's super busy. So I waited and he called me back like at lunch. And it was the battery. They just didn't plug it in. PepBoys.
Are you going to call them and tell them they're done?
I was so frustrated. I'm like, are you kidding me? I've been freaking out for days now because I'm like, what am I going to do? You know, had to put in a thing at work to like not travel last week because I was like, my car's broken, you know, all this craziness. And yeah, there's like primary and secondary cables that get plugged in on my battery. And most batteries, I guess, are not like that. Which is why when I looked at my invoice, they had free installation, which was part of the reason I just took it there to PepBoys. And then I looked at the invoice and they had actually charged me an extra $11 for a difficult battery installation.
Oh.
And then they didn't do it correctly. How lame. So yeah, so they plugged in like the main positive, negative cables, but they didn't plug in like the secondary ones. And that's all it was. Thank God.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I was really, excited about that. And then I was like a little stressed because I was like, now I have to go back to PepBoys and say, hey, like you all did this. And I figured it was going to be a big fight,
Right.
So I went down, talked to the manager, the parts manager, and he was just like, oh, do you have your invoice and everything? I showed it to him. He's like, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Hold on a minute. I gotta go, take care of something in the back. So I'm thinking, oh, he's just gonna, go talk to, the manager of the store or something. Here's a form you have to fill out, whatever.
Yeah. He
walks out because my mechanic bill was $197 to get it diagnosed and everything.
Right.
And luckily I had free towing, so that wasn't an issue. I mean, it's not free. I pay for it every year, but still. And he walks out with $197 in cash and handed it to me.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, now I don't feel so bad about PepBoys. Because they knew that they screwed stuff up and they, took care of it. It wasn't, oh, it's not really our fault, He was just like, so sorry. Here you go.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I got his name. His name was Manny. Shout out to Manny from PepBoys and Chico. And I figure I need to call and just, say thank you and tell his manager that he did a great job and took care of us. And now I'm not going to hate PepBoys for the rest of my life.
I still am.
I'm probably not going to take my shit back to them. Just because, you know, what does George W. Bush say? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, not going to fool me again.
Love it.
Something to that effect. He had some great quote about that it's just the best. So yeah, I'm thinking I'm not gonna go down that route again, but I also am not gonna be like completely furious every time someone brings PepBoys up.
Yeah, well, I still am, so.
What did they do to you?
Well, like, so my Jetta, it has a lot of issues.
As Jettas do.
Yeah, and one time I took my grandpa, who has owned a shop for like freaking 50 years or something crazy, right? And not that he really knows newer cars. He definitely specializes in like classics, but so he knows a little better what they're trying to say, because I had gone to a PepBoys in LA when I lived in LA, and I went to PepBoys because I know Chico had one, and I was going back home soon.
Right.
And so I was like, if something goes wrong, they can fix it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so then it broke really shortly after, and it was the same issue, and they were fighting me on it, like, no, we would never do this. I'm like, well, no, you.
But you did.
And so my grandpa came with me, and I don't even remember what the issue was now, and my grandpa's like, I've never seen, like, a car do this. This is seriously the craziest thing. And the guy's like, he said something to my grandpa, like, because he said, can you explain this to me? Like, I don't understand. And he was like, sir, this kid's probably like 25.
Right.
He's like, sir, I've been working on cars for a long time. I know what I'm talking about. I was like,
dude.
I was like, are you kidding?
This guy was working on cars for longer than you've been alive before you were born.
I'm like, excuse me, don't talk to my grandpa like that. Like,
yeah.
Not necessary. And, just don't be rude.
That's lame. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, too. Like, had they handled it any differently, I could have been singing a whole nother tune, you know? Because it, like, obviously was very much their fault. And they could have, been rude and ridiculous. But, I mean, I was actually really impressed that the guy just, like, took responsibility. And actually none of the people who had worked on it were even there that day. And he just was like, saw our invoice and everything from Sunday and was like, okay. So that was really cool.
That is good.
Yeah. Plus, like, minus the stress and 4 days of not having a car and all that, like, it ended up, you know, not causing any major issue. You know, it all washed at the end. So
yeah,
that was nice for sure. So that was good. Got the car back. All that craziness. Then I went, because the registration was up, and I was kind of holding off because I'm like, well, if I can't get this frippin', is that a word? If I can't get this freaking thing to run, like, there's no reason to register and do all this stuff. So I go get on the last minute, you know, the day before my registration's due to pay my registration. And I'm not used to living, like, in the valley where you have to smog your car all the time.
It's California.
No, it's not. In Plumas County, you only have to smog your car when there's a transfer of title.
What?
Yeah, it's regulated by, like, I don't know. It has something to do with, like, EPA, like, emission zones. And so, like, if you're up in the middle of nowhere where there aren't very many people, I guess it's not such an issue. Yeah, so I was like, oh no, because I had to smog it. So I go to get it smogged, and the guy's like, did you have your battery changed recently? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, you can't smog it unless it has so many miles on it after your battery's changed, because it has to reset. So I had to, like, drive it around so that they could smog it. So you have to, like, put 30 miles on it.
Wow.
Yeah. Some cars are different. I guess they're, like, less or more or whatever. But yeah, so get it smogged. Thank goodness it passes smog and everything. And then I'm like, I know I need new tires badly. Everyone keeps telling me how I need new tires badly. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get tires. And so I ordered those. And I was waiting until it passed smog to order the tires. So, and like literally had them in my shopping cart because I was ordering them online. Went to get it smogged. Came home, went back to order the tires. It went from them arriving on March 1st. I'm kidding you, like, not kidding, in 45 minutes. It went from, these will arrive on March 1st to, these will arrive on March 6th.
Wow.
Like, okay. So then I was talking to the mechanic and he's like, yeah, I think you needed a line. So I'm like, man, this car.
You're just having a hard life right now.
It's been fun, I guess. It's interesting. I don't know. I'm like, I luckily know enough just from like running a mechanic shop. And I mean, it's not like I ran it, like the mechanic part of it, you know, but being around it so much and everything, yeah. I have caught on to enough. And I've always been curious. And, you know, I learned how to change my own oil and stuff when I was learning to drive.
Yeah. So
I've caught on to enough that I feel like I'm not a total ditz. And so when like things are going wrong, I'm always willing to question.
Yeah.
You know? And so I'd actually sent Adam down to just get the battery changed, and he calls me and he's like, they said the starter's, you know, bad, and it's going to be $650 or something to change it. And I'm like, no, the starter was just fine this morning, you know. That would be such a coincidence to have your starter go bad, like, at that same moment.
Right.
So, and he's like, I would have just, like, if you weren't around, I would have just been like, oh, okay. Go ahead and change my starter.
Right.
I'm like, no way. Ew, I heard a statistic that at like 30 different points in the average person's life, they come in some contact or like within the vicinity of a serial killer. 30 times. I don't know how true that is.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not going to cite my sources.
How you know that?
But I heard it on like one of the murder podcasts I love.
Well, I just mean like how you even get...
Right, how would they know that to like have the statistic?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but ew.
That's pretty bad.
It's super creepy. Yeah. I still cannot remember what I'm going to do with my ashes, Jessye.
I know what?
Did you listen? Have you edited that episode yet?
Apparently not.
I felt like it was before you went to Italy, and we're already past where you went to Italy.
Yeah, Italy was like after the
right away. Yeah. Something. Because I'm pretty sure that's where we were talking about what we're going to do with our ashes. I feel like I want something with the sea. Dump me out at the ocean. Mix me in some sand.
I just remember you wanting to get dumped off on the way to Chester.
Oh, yeah. That was because Jackson, my oldest son, told me that he wanted to keep me. I told the boys they could split me. And he was going to keep me with him. And Remy said he was going to fling me off a cliff on the way to Chester. And I said, that sounds great. Because I've probably spent so much time on Highway 32. I mean, uncountable hours. And it's between my two homes. Why not?
Love it.
Also, I just don't care because I'm dead.
That ain't my body no more. Getting like mad.
You're getting mad?
Yeah.
Okay, let the record show that her end of the mirror looks freaking adorable and she's full of shit.
Okay, let the record show Taz looks way better.
I don't think that's true. I think they look the same. And you're just being way too much of a perfectionist about it. Part of it is that I'm not trying to be steady. The great thing about hot glue is like if you mess up, you just go back and put some more, right? Oh, I just remembered the thing I was going to tell you. Have an appointment this Friday for the remainder of my sleeve on my rest.
Oh yeah,
on my rest arm.
I thought that the car was gonna.
On my left arm, my rest arm. Yeah, I have an appointment on Friday to start the work on the upper half of my sleeve of my left arm. This is tattoos, people.
We're talking tattoos.
Because we just got strangely British.
I I just really love how British people say tattoos. Like their T is not
There's
same.
no T? Is that how they say Clinton?
Or is it Australian?
Maybe it is. I don't know any accents very well. You know, I always have gotten a bad time about how I say Clinton.
Oh, yeah. We talked about that in number 4.
Yeah. So
Go listen to episode number 4, y'all.
Is it the same thing? Like, they don't say the T.
Could be.
Clinton? Clinton.
Which is strange because usually, I feel like British people enunciate much more than Americans do.
Oh, like when they say miniature.
Miniature.
Aluminium. I don't say aluminium, but I do say miniature. And my entire life, people have made fun of me for it.
Like, you just say it, like, literally in every day.
Yeah, when I'm talking about miniature things. Everybody used to tease me. I'm like, what? I'm saying it correctly.
Blake says one word that is always funny to me, and now I'm not going to think of what it is. Oh, measure.
I say measure too.
He says, I'm going to measure. How do you want me to measure this? I'm like, oh.
I say measure too. That has to do with, does he have like family that's like from a Nordic type background? Swedes or somebody?
I don't know. He doesn't really very well know where he's like from. Can I have a glue stick for him?
Because I think that's where mine comes from, is my North Dakota family. So now I think the next step, do we need to clean off all the little bits, or do we don't worry about them? That is the one thing about hot glue. The one downside are the strings.
Tattoos! Tell me about the tattoos.
So I have plans for a bunch of roses. And then I'm going to do a bunch of like filigree stuff because I have some of that on both of my arms already to kind of do some fill-in the background. And I think I'm going to leave it mostly black and white. And then just have the roses be red.
That's cool.
So they'll like really stand out.
I'm a fan of black and white.
Yeah. I'm thinking that I might, because, so like your elbow is always kind of a difficult area.
I can imagine.
I mean, just even like when you are like having a design or something, because of the way your elbow works, it's not the easiest place to get a tattoo. So I'm sort of thinking about doing a little spider web on my elbow.
That'd be cool.
It would be like a little bit of like funky, not girly stuff in there.
It's a good thing for like a little bend. My brother's got a spider web on his knee.
Yeah. Well, there's that, and then like they call this the ditch, the like crease in between your forearm and upper arm, and that's a real pain in the ass too. In fact, tattooers have a little saying, the ditch is a bitch. So that could be interesting too. I'm not 100% sure what we're going to put in there. I saw one time somebody had like legit hinges. Like, and I was like, that's actually really cute. And I kind of like that hardware look.
Yeah.
I have a key on this arm, like an old school key. I could do like a hardware hinge.
Yeah.
On the inside. I don't know. It hurts like a mother in there, so probably the simpler the better.
I can't even imagine.
Didn't you say that you had some new tattoo idea?
I do, but it'll probably never happen.
What is it?
So my grandma's like a big cactus human.
Oh, that's right. You told me this last week.
Yeah.
I think you told me on the podcast last week.
So yeah, maybe a cactus at some point in my life.
A cacti.
And I do want this one to be colorful. I decided that too.
Where do you think you might put it?
Probably still on my thigh. It feels like the less painfulest location.
I don't have any on my thighs, so I cannot confirm or deny that.
Well, that's where they used to give me shots when I was a kid. Because I would cry and scream and...
I think they give everyone shots in their thigh.
No. They tried to do it in my arm and I would freak out. And then they said, we'll do it in your thigh because it feels better.
How little of a kid?
Oh, like 14, 15.
Oh, yeah. So normally arm at that point. I'm like thinking a little kid. I'm like, yeah, no, when I took my kids to get their shots, they'd put them in on their thigh. It's because you can like hold them.
I try to say kid.
Because to make it sound better. To make you sound like Nautilus.
I was actually like really an adult. I'm just kidding.
I was a teen.
But
yeah. All right. Well, let's wrap this sucker up. How's your Fitbit treating you?
Oh, it's kind of a pain in the butt, but...
Are you obsessing?
Actually, not so bad.
Not as much as previously?
Not as much as previously. I'm doing okay, I think.
Cool.
It's just that I'm not losing weight. Bochi wants in. We gotta wrap this thing up.
My dog is intensely scratching at the door right now. All right. Well, till next week.
Yeah, our glasses aren't empty, so...
No, I'm gonna keep drinking this. It's delicious.
Too bad. So sad. Bye, Felicia.
Bye.
Blah, blah, blah.